Hey, what's up? Welcome to part 4 of making a Bing bot. So, I just finished my finals and I'm feeling a little brain dead, so I'm going to tell you guys a story before I get into it. So, after I took my final, I had to walk back to my dorm in like negative 5 degrees Celsius. So, I decided to make a pit stop at Dunkin' Donuts to get some dinner with my meal swipe. So, I asked for a donut, but then after like 10 minutes, I realized I didn't get my donut. So, I walk over and ask the cashier for one. I chose the candy cane donut, whatever it's called, and she ended up giving me two. But then I saw the cronut, or as Duncan calls it, I guess, the croissant donut, and I asked if I'm allowed to get that on my meal swipe. And the cashier's like, depends on who's the cashier. And I was like, so and then the cashier was like, I got you. So now as I'm making this YouTube video, I'm slowly getting fat eating like 3 donuts. But back on topic, I'm definitely looking forward to having winter break to make more videos for you guys. And so recently I got a request from Reddit on how to do mobile emulation. And I'm very excited since this is my first request ever. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to get Selenium to emulate a mobile device. I know that Bing will give an additional 100 daily bonus points for searches on a mobile device, so hopefully you guys all find this helpful. To do this, we're going to first create a variable called capabilities that contains information on different options we can set for our browser. And we're going to do this after we create our browser using Chrome driver. So first, let's make a variable and let's call it capabilities. And we're going to set it equal to something in curly braces, which just means that we're going to make a set. And the first attribute that we want is the browser name. So we're going to say browser name and then colon. And then after the colon, we're going to say what our browser name is. And obviously we're using Chrome. So we're going to say Chrome. And then the next attribute, before we write it, we have to say comma. And then we start our next attribute. And then we're going to say Chrome options. And then after the colon, we're going to say what our Chrome options are. And then it's not just a single quotation, so we're going to create another curly brace since there's more to it than that. And the next thing we're going to say is mobile emulation as one of the Chrome options. And then after mobile emulation, we're going to have to create another curly brace. And this is another option for mobile emulation. And this attribute is called device name. And then after the colon, we're going to say what our device name is. And you could use a lot of different devices, but in this case, we're going to say Apple iPhone 6. And you guys got to be careful because this is KC sensitive, so make sure you have this capitalized correctly, or Selenium's going to yell at you, Python's going to yell at you. So after we have our capabilities variable, we need our browser to use these capabilities or start up with these capabilities. So we're going to use a function called start session, and we're going to say browser dot start session, and then in in these parentheses we're going to put in our desired capabilities. And since we just wrote that, all we have to say is capabilities. So now our browser is going to start the session using these capabilities that we just made that include mobile emulation. So it'll start on a mobile device, and then after it starts, it'll do everything that we made from the past 2 videos, which is log in and then search for these 3 things. So let's see if this works. So Python bing.py, and awesome. So it looks like the screen's smaller because it's emulating an iPhone 6, and it logged in, and let's see if it searches. Alright, so it looks like it yelled at us, but I'm not very surprised because the search looks a little different on the mobile device. So it looks like it can't find this element. So let's see what's going on here. So let's inspect this element like before. And alright, so we want this button. So actually, if you want to select just an item, instead of having to right click it, you can just press this and then it'll highlight it for you. And then we're going to say this. And so this is an input tag, and here's the ID, but it looks like this ID is different from our other Go tag where we were just using the browser. So this is our XPath with ID SB form Go for our search button when we were using a regular browser. And this is definitely different because it's SB8TN. So I actually went and tried this out myself before I made this video, and when I used SB8TN, it was really inconsistent, and I think it's mostly because mobile devices are weird, such that like when you don't want to search for something, that button could disappear, which, let me see. So like, hello world, like the button changes, and that's really tough to um, do the XPath thing and then pressing click on it. So what we can do is actually just send the enter key. So when we say hello world and then press enter, we don't even have to press the search button. It'll just search for us. So Selenium does have this worked out for us as well. So this time, instead of using the search button, finding the search button and clicking it, we're going to send the enter key. And to do this, we have to import something before we do this. So we're going to say from Selenium dot WebDriver dot common dot keys. We're going to import keys, which is this module will give us special keys that we can send, like the return key. So, whoops. So I commented these out so it won't run those. And after we type in hello, we want to press the enter button. So right here, we can just say search text field, and then we're just going to say send keys, and it's going to send enter. So we're going to say keys dot return, because return is the same thing as enter on most keyboards. So this should be able to do the same thing as clicking the button, but this time we won't have to send it. And this doesn't just have to work on mobile. You could actually use this on browser as well. It's up to you. And let's see if this fixes our problem. So we're going to say python bing.py, logging in, and then bing.com, doing that random waiting, and looks like it searched, and it searched for world news. And let's see if it gets Python. Awesome. So it did exactly what it could do on the browser, but it did it on an mobile emulator, so we could earn additional points by doing that, and looks like it worked. So before I go, I also did a little bit more of investigation in terms of what valid device names are. So as you can see here, I chose to use Apple iPhone 6, but if you guys want to use a different device, you're more than welcome to. And here, no, not here. Here's the list of devices that are supported. And as you can see, the iPhones just say iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, or like Galaxy, Nexus. And you guys have to be careful because as you can see here, I said Apple iPhone 6. And if you just type in iPhone 6 without the Apple, Selenium's going to actually end up yelling at you. So let's see what happens. So it's going to say something like, yeah, iPhone 6 isn't like a valid device. So you have to say Apple. And in the case of like a Nexus device, you have to say Google. So just make sure you have those things, and make sure you remember to capitalize that first letter. And last but not least, I'd love to take more video requests or answer any questions, so feel free to let me know either of those things by commenting below. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll do my best to put out consistent content, and hope to see you guys again in the next video.